Reverend learns how to be expressive and enthusiastic. Good morning, everyone, and I want to start out by thanking City and State for hosting such an important forum. I was going to start by reading the City and State birthday announcements, but I know everyone has already seen them on first read. Now, I must tell you, this is a true story. I get up in the morning, my first read is Bloomberg View. Two reasons. One, the name on the door, and number two, it's there a lot earlier than the first read. But my second read is yours. Now, how either of us are going to monetize that, I have absolutely no idea. But for what it's worth, I do that. And Caress, I just wanted to point out, you talked about diversity in security. The NYPD and the Corrections Department are both majority minority, and I would think the percentage of women cast about 35%, something like that. So it is not just a white men's security thing. We have been able to, in both those agencies, attract an enormous, broad group of people with lots of different backgrounds and lots of different experiences, and I think that's what's made both agencies as effective as they are. Reverend DeGraff, thank you, all kidding aside, for that introduction. You're too kind. It is the people that we've been lucky enough to have join the administration that have really made the difference. And, Kaz and I are two out of something like 280,000 people that work for our administration for this government. And we're not perfect, and we haven't gone as far as we would like. We do have countdown clocks at City Hall. I have one in my bathroom at home. For the record, there is 597 days, I think, left to go. And all our countdown clocks have signs on them, make every day count. And I can just tell you, up until midnight on December 31st, 2013, we will do everything we can to leave this city in as good a shape as we can, and to give whoever comes after us the tools to take it to even greater heights. I hope that the mayor that follows me is better than I ever was. I'm going to live in the city. My kids live in the city. And we want to always build and give the tools to the next generation to go and do things that we never really imagined. Expanding economic opportunity is what we're here to talk about. It is central to the mission of 100 Black Men, and Reverend DeGraff has been a great partner with our administration. And together we are working to ensure that when it comes to doing work for the City of New York, whether it's building a school, providing social services, or meeting dozens of other needs that New Yorkers have, the opportunity to get that work is available to the largest, most diverse group of firms possible. I also want to thank today's co-chairs, Sandra Wilkin, President Emeritus of the Women's Builders Council. She is also president of Bradford Construction, a certified woman-owned firm that works on 75 to 100 public schools in an average year for our School Construction Authority. And I think she certainly understands firsthand the challenges of running a company and of working on public projects. Dealing with government is never easy. There are lots of built-in protections, and every time there's a scandal, we add another level of protection, which probably makes it harder to work with government, but that's the real world. I've been asked 1,000 times what's the difference between government and the private sector, and I've pointed out that the private sector really is a dog-eat-dog world, and government is just the opposite. Thinking I always listen how long it takes for you guys to go to see. That's okay. New York is bringing renewed energy, I hope anyways, and I think it is, and focus to this area. Our administration believes that economic growth should benefit all communities. That's what our five-borough economic development strategy is all about. If we hadn't started a five-borough economic diversification plan 10 plus years ago, we would have been in very big trouble with this economic downturn. Fortunately, we did. It didn't prevent us from hurting and suffering, but it makes the pain an awful lot more tolerable, I will say. The foundation of our strategy is investing in the city's future in every neighborhood through good times and bad, and we continue to invest in the things that attract families and businesses to New York, infrastructure, housing, education, and sustainability, and that strategy really has paid big dividends. If you look at the numbers, New York City has gained back more than 190% of private sector jobs lost during the recession, while the nation as a whole has gained back only about 40%. Now, there are still far too many New Yorkers out of work and far too many people who are struggling, so we can't back down from our strategy, and we are not. You should know that there are more people working in New York City today than ever before in history. Having said that, we still have a lot of people coming here who are looking for work, and so it is a never-ending problem for us, but also a never-ending opportunity. We want people, particularly immigrants from around the world, to come to New York. This is the city of opportunity, and it's what makes all of us benefit when people come here and start businesses and come with new ideas and that sort of thing. Last month we put forward a budget that includes nearly $40 billion in capital investments over the next 5 years. That includes more than $15 billion in infrastructure investments and nearly $11 billion in investments in education. And we're determined to ensure that every community in New York has the opportunity to take part in that work, as well as the opportunities to do business with our city. The more people that apply to do business, the more options the city's going to have, the better quality work we're going to get for a lower price. That's what we owe to the taxpayers, and we want to make sure that everybody can participate. That's what we owe to the workers in this city. It's our city, and we all want equal opportunity, but nobody should think that you're not going to have to work hard. This is not an easy city. People don't come here to put their feet up on the chair and just to have the government support them. People come here for opportunity. And the difference between those that succeed and those that don't is to some extent luck. But, you know, there's the old saying, the harder you work, the luckier you seem to be. And I think we all understand that. We are determined to make sure that every community has the opportunity. And our commitment is anew. Over the past 6 years, we've made significant strides, I think, in removing barriers to city contracting opportunities for minority and women-owned firms. Since December of '05, when we passed Local Law 129, expanding contracting opportunities for businesses owned by minorities and women, the number of MWBE firms that are certified to do business with the city has grown from 700 to more than 3,400 today. 700 to 3,400, it's a big jump, and those firms have received more than $2.7 billion in city contracts. In 2011 alone, nearly $563 million in city contracts were awarded to firms owned by minorities or women, and that includes firms like Recon Construction Company, which is owned by Gloria Kemper. Recon has worked with the city's Department of Environmental Protection, Sanitations, and Parks on a number of subcontracts valued at over $30 million. Some firms have won small contracts like American Fire Control, a fire extinguisher maintenance company that won a $25,000 contract with the NYPD 1 week after attending the 3rd annual citywide procurement fair. And hopefully that leads to a lot more business for that company and for similar companies. And some firms have won very large companies. Padilla Construction, which recently won a $13 million contract with the Parks Department. Padilla has completed a number of projects for the city at various agencies, and they've also hired MWBE subcontractors on many of them. And I can just tell you, if they didn't do great work, they wouldn't get any more business. And that's exactly the way it should be. And I would just hope that you find all of these companies doing lots of business with the city. It will be great for the city if that's the case. This is real progress that benefits our entire city, because as more businesses are able to open, operate, and expand, the stronger New York City's economy becomes and the better prices taxpayers get for public works and services. And that's why we are so determined to continue to support our city's MWBE firms. That includes taking a fresh look at Local Law 129 and the ways that can be strengthened. But support is more than making opportunities available and setting goals. Small businesses really are the backbone of our city's economy, and we want them to succeed. And that means addressing some of the chronic problems that cause small businesses, including minority and women-owned businesses, to fail. I do remember the days when my company was one person, and then 3 days later it was like 4 people. Today it's, I'm told, 16,000. I keep meeting people and they say, oh, we miss you. And I say, great, how long have you been in the company? 2 years, great, that's really nice. But, you know, there's the old joke that you can always tell who owns the company by who's sweeping up at the end of the day after everybody's gone home. And the challenge and the thrill and the worry, but also the excitement of creating something is something that I will never forget. Now, I don't know that I'm going to be young enough to go do it again when I finish this job,